Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic, to cosplay, to Schitt's Creek, to Supernatural, and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Pop Culture and Fandom News. My name is Erin Marlowe, and I'm your host, and we were off last week, so we are back. I have to say, it was such a weird experience last week, not having any episodes to edit from this podcast. It was nice, but it's a very odd feeling because I've been doing this, for almost 6 years, so you get used to it, and it was nice, but it was also an odd feeling. So anyway, we are back, but I do think we're going to have a good discussion on Friday talking about sex work in media. I focused, at least for what I am going to be mentioning, a lot on film. I don't know if my panelists this week focused on both TV and film, but it should be a good conversation. There will definitely be trigger warnings for that episode, and that'll be leading into next week. We're going to be talking about Pretty Woman, which is celebrating an anniversary, which I won't tell you the anniversary until that episode because I don't need to get depressed over and over again. I was watching, before I introduce, let me just introduce her and then I will give you this anecdote that made me feel extremely old, and you can all feel old with me. So joining me this week, returning from 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about characters' deaths, our favorite character deaths, it's Tiff. Hello, Tiff.
Hi, hey, hello. Yes, great discussion last 2 weeks ago. So I'm definitely looking forward to chatting it up today about some things that we're interested in and some trailer information that you provided. So happy to be here, per usual.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you here. And this is one of the ones that sometimes I wish. And I may start, so we can release just video versions of all of our episodes for people that are comfortable being on camera. But this is one of the ones because Tiff is wearing a Star Wars shirt. I'm wearing my I frickin' love horror movies shirt. And so it's one of those, we're both in fandom gear and no one can see us.
At all. At all. And the funny thing about this shirt is that, I am not into Star Wars like this. I got it because it was $8 at Kohl's and I liked the colors, and we were going to a baseball game and it was Star Wars Day. So that's the only reason why I bought this.
That makes it even better. It's just an accidental fandom shirt.
It's an accidental fandom shirt. I'm a Star Trek girly.
That's right.
That's my jam. Although I do love The Mandalorian. So yeah. But I couldn't find, a Mandalorian shirt, but whatever.
And you collect Baby Yoda stuff.
I love my little Baby Yoda, my little Grogu.
Yeah, I learned that about you 2 weeks ago.
After knowing me for how long? But, the show only came out, 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We've known each other for I think 11 years now, Tiff. Almost 12.
Almost 12 years.
Wow.
I know.
We've known each other a long time.
A long time. And one of the things that I love about how fandom brought us all together is the friendships that it cultivated. It's not just I kind of sort of know this person that I met online. But no, it's we talk to each other pretty much every day. And, we've had the blessed time to see each other in person multiple times. So that's been awesome. Although I still have to go to Erin's state. I have not hit Colorado to actually stay. It's only been literally the airport. That's all I've seen of Colorado.
The good part of Colorado. That's not the good part of Colorado.
Exactly. So it's on my list. It's on my list. I'm not a snow person. That's not my jam, but I'm going to make it there one day. One day, so I can meet Fergie.
Oh, so I can meet Fergie. I understand. Fergie is the big attraction. I understand.
I JK.
But you don't have to come out here when it's snowing. And I'm not like, I don't ski. I don't do any of that stuff. So
Good, because
you don't have to come out
I don't
here
either.
then.
I've been skiing all of one time. I will never go again, ever. That is never happening again, okay? Ever.
Okay.
You can get me on the little sled, on a little inner tube, that's fine. I will not ski again. Like, I mean, when I am dead
I believe you.
point break serious, I will never get on another pair of skis.
But yeah, someday you'll have to come out here and, you can meet Fergie and then you can also see me and I'll take you some places around here and stuff. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I live really close to the foothills. So
Oh, pretty. That's so pretty. And I need to go see this, your Red Rock area that you
yeah, I'm
said is
really
so
close
cool.
to Red Rocks, but that's something we might just do driving, not as much walking because altitude sickness is a real thing here. And that's a lot of stairs. So yeah,
Gosh.
we'll figure it out. But anyway, before we keep talking about this, we're going to get into pop culture and fandom news. And this is going to be the first episode done this way. And this is how we're going to do episodes from now on, which we've been changing them up the past couple of weeks. But now what we're going to do is for our second segment, we're going to discuss a trailer or two, depending on time. And then we're just going to, I'm going to play it for Tiff. We're going to give our thoughts. So I'm going to cut that part out, but I'm going to put the links in the show notes. So I'll just say, hey, quickly pause the episode and go watch this trailer if you haven't watched it before. Because for legal reasons, I don't think we can put these trailers in there. I know a lot of podcasts do that, but for now, we're not going to do that. So every week on our pop culture and fandom news episodes from now on, we will be reacting to one or two trailers for our second segment or casting news, something like that. And then the last one will be just like it usually is, unless it's a huge topic and then we won't do a trailer. So yeah, but we are always going to kick it off the way we always have been kicking it off with discussing something we are into in pop culture or fandom. But it could also be something that we're pissed about, excited about, that's upcoming, something like that. So, Tiff, what is your thing?
So, watched the first 2 episodes of Eyes of Wakanda. It's an animated series that, of course, debuted on Disney Plus. It's only 4 episodes, and they dropped them all at the same time on August 1st, so last week. And the EP is Ryan Coogler, who we all know and love, of course. And if you don't know, where have you been? He was, of course, the generational talent behind Black Panther and then Wakanda Forever. And of course, oh my gosh, the movie of the year. I don't know. Erin's got something that might knock it off the throne, but our favorite vampire movie, of course. The talk on on Eyes of Wakanda was that the whole gist of it was that, oh, the animation style is going to be so avant-garde. It's going to be something that you've never seen. To me, honestly, the animation looks like Avatar being animated. That's how it looks. Like, how the blue people, what are they called? The Navi. That's how this looks.
Yeah.
And I don't care for it, like, at all. Dear daughter and I sat through 2 episodes of it. The episodes weren't bad. They weren't bad. I think the storyline essentially is about it's nonlinear. It jumps back in time. Just for example, one of the episodes is about like the Trojan War. So you can see this is about antiquity. And then they run up into some present. I haven't gotten to really like present day Wakanda, but this is about like their warriors and about how they fit in. Essentially, it's about them trying to regain control of their vibranium reserves. And because they have been stolen throughout the years, throughout antiquity, and they're in the hands of other people, of other countries, of other areas of the world. So they send their warriors out to get them. So it's from their point of view. But the animation style it it's slightly bothersome to me. I wish it was a more classic animation because I feel like this elongated look that they've given the characters, it looks odd. It looks very alien-like. The features are overly exaggerated, which I do not care for. I don't need to see somebody's eyes being like when somebody says almond-shaped eyes, they literally look like an almond. That
Yeah.
like I mean, why? Nobody's most people's eyes are not shaped like that. Let's keep it real. The lips are I mean, looks like they have lip filler to me. This is how it looks to me, like they have lip filler. And I know people have lips that are that size, obviously, but I don't care for it. I think it takes away, I think it's to me, it's a distraction from the storyline. And I think that it has potential. I don't know if they're going to do anything else. Like I said, it was only 4 episodes. It might be just this limited drop and that's that. But I think it does have potential to be interesting for Disney Plus to continue this on an annual basis. But the animation style to me is off-putting.
Interesting. I mean, as everybody knows, I'm not into animated films, so I probably won't, or shows or anything. So I probably won't end up watching it. But interesting, yeah, yeah. It can be off-putting when certain styles are done, and I hate Avatar with a burning passion. So
The passion of 5 million suns. Yeah,
yes, I
that ugh.
hate Avatar so much. I can't even. Oh my gosh.
The
Ugh.
overinflated ego of James Cameron on screen. Like we knew how bad it was before, but that was just proof positive
Yeah.
that this dude is just,
Yes.
and the fact that they greenlit how many more?
There's a third one coming out, I think, this year. I think it's
Oh
this year.
gosh.
It's this year or
No, thank
next year.
you.
I can't remember, but yeah. But I'm still so glad that at least he didn't win the Oscar, that it went to Catherine Bigelow, his ex-wife, which makes it even better. But yeah,
Uh,
I was so
sweet
yeah,
justice.
I was so pissed at the Golden Globes when she didn't win. But anyway, that's another story for when if we ever cover The Hurt Locker, which is a movie that actually I really love The Hurt Locker a lot, but it's
Yeah.
hard because my love for Jeremy Renner is so gone. And plus I don't like Anthony Mackie and so it's hard. But at some point. Anyway, before we go on a tangent on that. So I realize I forgot to say what I was gonna say I saw before I mentioned what I'm into, because I also watched Clown in a Cornfield. And I know a lot of the horror movie snobs hate this movie because it's kind of like the movie when you're a teen or a preteen and you're like, I'm going to get into horror movies. And you start with one. This is what that movie is. It's like very safe horror, in my opinion. It does do a little twist on the slasher thing, which I liked as far as the slasher villain goes. And I really don't think I've ever seen a slasher movie do that. And what it did, so it was good. But it's very silly, not at all scary, and I think clowns and cornfields are scary, but this movie did not scare me in the slightest. It's so tame. It's on Shudder right now, but one part in there, because there's these teenagers, from now, they're teenagers right now, and they're running. This is kind of a spoiler, I guess, but it doesn't really matter, but they're running into this house to try and get away from the clown, Friendo. And they go in this house, and all the house has a rotary phone, and they don't know what a rotary phone is. So they're like, "How do we dial 911?" We
Oh
can't push it. They're trying to push 9, and I have never felt so old in my life. So anyway, I wanted to share that because I felt so flippin' old. I'm like, oh my God.
Push it. No.
Yes, that's what they were doing, and then they just gave up. Anyway,
okay, there's two wrong things with that. Number one, the fact that they're trying to get away from it and they ran into a house. That's numero uno. Don't run into a house. Don't run into an enclosed space when you're trying to get away from a killer clown. That's number one. Number two, always, always be on top of how the communications medium have
yeah.
changed over the years. So yes, Erin and I know how to use a rotary phone because maybe our parent or our grandparent had one in their home. So we know how to use one as well as using a cell phone as well as using a cordless phone, children.
Yeah.
So know how to utilize these things. It will help you get through clowns in a cornfield.
Yes. Well, and I will say they weren't going to the house necessarily to hide from the clown. This is another spoiler. They were going there specifically because they knew, because their cell phones weren't working, that there was a phone there that was a rotary phone, but they still didn't know how to use it, so it was pointless. But that was the main reason they were going there. So it wasn't because they were trying to just that's a spoiler. But anyway, it made me feel old. But that's not the movie that I'm into. Although I want to just say, horror snobs, just get over yourself. The only way we keep horror going is new people seeing it. So, I mean, it's a good entry film for people to get into horror. It has some great kills, actually, I will say that. So I went and saw Zach Krieger's latest movie, Weapons. Now, this movie is very hyped, and I know there will be some of that might affect people's viewing of it, to be honest. I think that might have happened to Barbarian, although maybe not. Anyway, so if you've seen the trailer for Weapons, I want to just tell you, unless they release another one that gives anything away, this trailer only gives away the premise of, 17 kids disappearing at 2:17 in the morning. But that's not really giving anything away for this movie. I swear to you, you have no idea what this movie is going to be about from that trailer. Not a flipping clue. And that is incredible in this day and age. And that's why I urge everybody, you can filter out hashtags, everything like that. Please try and filter out any hashtag for this movie. Anything like that until you see it if you're planning on seeing it, because you don't want to be spoiled, because it makes it all the more enjoyable to watch this movie when you don't have a clue what this movie really is, okay? Not a clue. And I don't even want to tell you some of the films that the director himself has gone, and writer-director has said that inspired these movies, because even though it won't really give it away, I think there's a part of it that will give it away. So I'm not even going to say. I will just say that this movie was so much fun. So much fun. And I was so grateful to be in a crowd of people that, for the most part, except for I don't think the 3 people sitting next to me liked this movie, but for the most part, the crowd was so into this movie and were having just as much fun watching it and reacted in the way that you should react while watching this movie, in my opinion. So it was so much fun. Great, fantastic performances. Amazing performances in this movie. And also, I'm just going to say this, because it's so hard, because I want to talk about how much I love this movie and why I do, but I don't want to give anything that could lead to a spoiler of what this movie really is at all. But I will say it is funny. But I will also mention, this is the last one, sorry, I will mention this. So there's a scene in here that makes a very interesting, where a character makes interesting use of a potato peeler, is all I will say.
I have some images in my head, but I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to let it cook.
But it has some great kills. Like I said, fantastic performances. The script is really well written. If you're a fan of Barbarian, I think you will probably really like this. I'm not positive which one I like more. I'll have to marinate on it. If you don't know, Zach Krieger, he originated in comedy. Just like so many great horror directors that we have in recent memory, and that more newer ones they've originated from comedy. They got their start in comedy. And he started with the sketch comedy show, The Whitest Kids You Know, he was part of that. And that's where he originated from. And his comedic chops and his comedic timing and his knowledge that comedy and horror go so well together, I think is part of why he is such a good filmmaker and such a good addition to the horror landscape. And I know many of you are thinking, well, he did the other one earlier this year, right? Companion, that was him. No, he just produced it. Doesn't mean he didn't have a say in it, but he just produced it. But yeah, I loved it. I wish I could say more. I might, when there are other people that are panelists that have seen the movie, I might, like we did with Barbarian, do a special spoiler-filled episode on it, because I do think it's something, like, I would go see it again just so I can kind of experience it after I know everything and see if I can pick up on some things. But I think it would be a fun one to dive into. And so if you have seen Barbarian and you haven't watched, Moth and I, we did a live stream reaction filled with spoilers. So once again, I still don't feel comfortable spoiling that movie unless I'm, I know Tiff is going to go watch that tonight. So I am not going to spoil that one because I don't think you should be spoiled for that one. So yeah, I recommend it. If you're a horror fan, I highly recommend it. If you are a fan of Barbarian, I highly recommend it. I will say, I think there will be people that will not like this movie, and I know there already are. And I understand, because there's a very big reason why I think people might not like this movie, which will be a big spoiler, so I'm not going to say. But I loved it. I enjoyed it. No, it does not dethrone Sinners. I know that a lot of people are saying that. No, it doesn't for me personally as, movie of the year, definitely not as horror movie of the year. So I will say that. But I will be excited to hear how our other panelists react to it, because I'm the first one of the group that has seen this. So I am guaranteeing at least one other panelist might not like this. I don't know who it will be. I'm just saying, like Sasha, who hasn't been on a while, but Sasha hates Barbarian, hates that movie, thinks it's stupid. And I was so bummed to hear that. And she also didn't like there's a few others, but Sasha and I have realized, unless it's older horror movies, or actually we agree on Sinners, that's one that we've agreed on. But Sasha and I have this thing, we never agree on horror. We can't even discuss horror anymore because she doesn't like basically almost any movie that I like that's horror. She doesn't like of newer ones. So we
newer ones. Okay.
Yeah, we just have determined.
The classics, though.
Yeah, the classics is fine, but newer, no. We just can't agree on horror. So
got it.
So Sasha will probably hate this movie. Hi, Sasha. You might hate this movie if you see it, because you know. Shout out to you. So anyway, so go see that in the theater before it gets completely spoiled, because I don't think people are going to be as kind as they were with Barbarian. And speaking of weapons and horror producers and horror directors who came from the world of comedy, one of the trailers we're going to be talking about when we come back is a movie that Jordan Peele produced. Jordan Peele did not direct this movie. It's very important to say that, because everyone is saying it's his movie. No, he's just a producer. But the reason I'm stressing this also is, if you don't know, Jordan Peele's company, Monkey Paw Productions, he wanted to make weapons. There was a bidding war. He lost the bidding war. He fired somebody because he lost the bidding. So there you go. But when we come back, Tiff and I are going to discuss two trailers, very, very different trailers.
Wildly different.
Which is why I picked them, because they're wildly different. And I know I can play horror trailers for Tiff. So we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, Tiff, you are the first person to do this segment with us. So it's all new. So everyone listening, if you check your show notes, you will see links to two trailers that are vastly different, like I have said. We are going to start out with the one that'll appeal to maybe a larger audience. I don't know. The one that's not horror. I'll just say that.
Yes.
Noah Baumbach's new movie that stars the person that I've had a celebrity crush on for the longest, even though he disappoints me greatly because he still works with Brad Pitt. But that's George Clooney. And George Clooney is in this upcoming movie called Jay Kelly, about an actor. So what I'm going to do is, and I know Tiff has already seen this trailer, but I'm going to play it again for Tiff. So just so that we can get our raw reactions afterwards. So what you can do is you can pause us right now, because I'm going to edit out the silence. Because it'll be kind of hard if we're talking over the trailer. It might not record very well. So I'm going to edit out the silence. But if you want to pause right now, go into the show notes and quickly play the trailer. This is not a necessity. I'm just saying, if you want to also experience the trailer first before you listen to our reactions. So we will be in 2 seconds, we'll give you a few seconds here. We are going to give you our reactions to the J. Kelly trailer. Okay, so we have just finished watching the trailer for J. Kelly. So, Tiff, I know this is not the first time you've seen this trailer, but
Right.
what are your thoughts? Are you excited about this movie? What do you think?
Well, it's interesting because you said in the Discord channel how you think that Noah Baumbach's movie should be catnip for you, but you're not a huge fan
Yeah.
of his oeuvre. And I'm the same way. Like, I feel like I should really, really, really love his movies, but I really, really don't. I'm pretty indifferent to the majority of his movies. I think this particular one is something that my mother would really love. That it's something that she'd be like, "Oh, yeah, it's charming. I kinda like this. I like the flow." I will say, though, that, George Clooney, his silver foxiness has always been without fail for the last, my gosh, we're going on about 20 plus years now
Yeah.
where it's gotten even better. And when he says Cary Grant in the mirror, and then they show that that photo, that poster of him, this like billboard of him looking exactly like Cary Grant. I find
Yeah.
that wildly amusing. He does. He has a feeling of very much Cary Grantness because I know that a lot of the chat about Cary Grant in the 30s and the 40s was that, oh, he's playing the same character. Is he playing himself? Because everything was very smooth with him. Everything was very suave and sophisticated, very debonair. And is Jay Kelly also George Clooney, also Jay Kelly?
Yeah.
And I actually appreciate when Adam Sandler, because I do not like his comedy with the exception
Mhm.
of two things. I like 50 First Dates and I like The Wedding Singer.
Mhm.
But other than that, no thank you to the rest of his filmography. I do like it when he plays more so, he has some comedic moments, but this is very much like more so it feels like a dramedy. So I like when he's being like very toned down. So I dig that. I love Laura Dern. Fantastic actress. I've always liked her pretty much in everything she's ever done. So that ending, I don't touch people. She's like, don't touch people. That's great. So I think there's some good one-liners in there when he's talking about I'm always alone, and then it's like his little butler comes
Yeah,
up and
that made me laugh.
hands him the drink. Thanks, Silvano. Because he's not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
He's throwing out these statements, and he's not even thinking about how everything is contradicting that what he actually says. So I do
Mhm.
like that. It's not on the top of my list to watch, but I feel like the trailer is very charming and that it has a great cast, an absolutely stacked cast. So I wouldn't say that I'm looking forward to it, but if it comes across my path, I would definitely watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch this because of George Clooney is the main reason. And I'm not a fan of Noah Baumbach, and the reason I say it should be catnip to me is I love character-driven, small films are some of my favorite things in the world. It's part of the reason I love the show The Bear, is because that's character-driven, not plot-driven, and this seems and Noah Baumbach's films, for the most part, especially his earlier work when they were really, really independent, were very character-driven, but I could never get into them. There was something about it. It's kind of the way I feel about Wes Anderson. I don't like Wes Anderson movies either. And Wes Anderson to me is also another one that feels like he should be someone I love, but I can't. It's this disconnect. Like it always feels very forced to me and it doesn't feel real to me. And I did not like Marriage Story that much. The last one that Noah Baumbach did. I think that was his last one. And the one that Laura Dern did. I like Laura Dern, okay, but she did not deserve that Oscar. There is no way in hell she deserved that Oscar over other people. And I'm not a fan of that movie really that much. So my hesitation is who directed it, but I love George Clooney so much that I'm excited to see this just for his performance. And I know people are already saying that a part of the reason that he's probably doing this is because he gets accused of playing himself. So it's something that he deals with too. And he said in a recent interview he doesn't give a fuck if people think he's playing himself. He doesn't give a shit. And I love George Clooney for that, because he's just like, whatever, this is what I'm doing. He's also very self-deprecating. If you haven't followed his career since the 80s like I have. Okay, facts of life is when I became a George Clooney fan. So when I say I have loved this man for decades, I mean it. So I'll see it for him. And I agree on Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler is kind of like Jim Carrey for me in the fact that I don't like Adam Sandler's comedy movies, like real comedy movies. Like when I saw The Wedding Singer, I remember so distinctly, because I love The Wedding Singer, which is one of our most popular episodes we've ever done. So if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. I love The Wedding Singer so damn much. And I love Adam Sandler in that movie so much because I love Robbie and I love that character. And I remember when I saw that, I was like, maybe I actually do like Adam Sandler. So I started watching Adam Sandler comedies and I'm like, no, I don't actually like Adam Sandler.
Nope. It's exactly.
It's just when he's doing work where he's not Adam Sandler, where he's not getting into that stupid Waterboy crap or whatever, you know? And I like him in I think in Punch Drunk Love, Paul Thomas Anderson's Punch Drunk Love. I think he's really good in that. Mm-hmm. A few other movies as well when he's not over the top. The one that he did, oh my God, the Safdie brothers movie, where everything's just going. It's the most intense, stressful movie in the world about money and gambling and oh my God.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. I know.
Oh my God. I can't believe I can't remember that movie.
I'm looking it up right now.
I actually hated the movie because it made me almost physically ill because it was so stressful to watch that movie.
Uncut Gems.
Thank you. Uncut Gems. Yes.
Uncut Gems. Yeah.
He was fantastic in that movie too, because that wasn't the Adam Sandler thing. So he looks like he's not being Adam Sandler. So I'm excited about that. But it's not top of my list, just like you said, Tiff. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So next, we are going to play something very, 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 very different.
Extremely different. The opposite end.
Yes.
Difference.
Yes. And there was a teaser for this movie that came out a while ago. But they released the full trailer for the movie Him, which once again, like I said before the break, this is produced by Jordan Peele. It is not directed by Jordan Peele. It's directed by Justin Tipping. And I just think it's important to say that. So this is a horror movie. There is some bloody scenes in the trailer. So you don't have to watch the trailer. You can skip our reactions if you want to, too. So maybe skip ahead a few minutes if you want to. But if you do like horror, then here is the trailer for, then go to the link in our show notes and watch the trailer for Him. Okay. And we're back, and Tiff was kind of doing a little bit of the imitation of the end scene there. The trailer. So Tiff, I know you have actually mentioned this film before on the podcast.
Yes.
And so that's part of the reason I wanted to get your reaction to the updated trailer, because at that time we just had the teaser.
Yes.
So this gives a little bit more, but I still think there's stuff they're not telling us. So what are your thoughts on this one?
So we know how much Jordan Peele is into imagery, and I think a big part of that is who he grabs to direct these films is important. He's like, okay, I have a vision, but I'm going to pass this off to someone else who can execute that vision. And, maybe he's giving some notes, background, but the imagery and the symbolism that are coming through in that trailer are on level 1 million. I've had to watch this about 5 times just to absorb the amount of things that it's giving me. So, for anybody who's not, we don't really deal with sports ball here on the podcast. I mean, I'm a sports fan, but, basketball is my jam. But I know, especially in football, what they'll say when they draft the next big thing, right? Especially a quarterback, they'll say, oh, he's our savior. He's coming to save the team. And if you notice the end of that trailer, when it just says him in that block, and Cameron is hanging on the cross like a savior, like the savior, right? Like Jesus on the cross. It is so clear to me, at that point in time, how they view him and how Isaiah White, who is played by Marlon Wayans, he is, in this instance, to me, the devil trying to bring the savior down. That's how I view it. Now, whether or not that's actually going to happen in the movie, because Jordan is always trying to kind of tell his producers and his writers and directors to F with our minds. I don't know, but that's how I looked at it. I am so, so excited for this movie. I can't wait for next month when it comes out. And let me tell you how absolutely stoked I am that Marlon Wayans gets the absolute latitude to go full on drama for us, drama/horror, because obviously we know Marlon Wayans is a very talented comedian. He is fantastic at physical comedy. He's learned it from the best, being a part of the Wayans family, from Keenan and Damon and Kim. He's part of that legacy, right? Of sketch comedy and then film comedy as well. So his dramatic roles have really, really impressed me. If anybody is interested in seeing him in another dramatic role with some comedy sprinkled in, watch Air. That came on, I think it was on Prime. Yep, that was on Prime. So that was Viola Davis's production company. And it's the story of Michael Jordan, of how he was drafted and how who was trying to get his shoe deal. It's a story of Nike, essentially, being the Jordan brand. And he's really, really good in that. Like, he's super, super good. Him doing this, though, I am very, very excited. I am so amped up. I can barely get through what I'm talking about right now. I know I'm rambling, but I am so excited about this. Like, I am so, so excited about it because it's one thing. I think another part of this is the isolation factor that Cameron is facing when he goes to this compound, because that's the story. Isaiah White is training him, air quotes, to be the best, to be the GOAT. And he's separated. Cameron is separated from his family, from his friends. He's with Isaiah and whomever Isaiah's entourage is. So separation is part of that, and isolation is part of the psychological horror that is placed upon people. It's a torture technique, actually. When it comes down to war crimes, they'll say that I think it's in the Geneva. I think it's in the Geneva Pact that you cannot do that. That is considered a war crime. So I am very, very excited, if you can't tell. I am very, very excited, and I can't wait to watch it. I will be there opening weekend. So I absolutely do not get spoiled with this because I am super duper stoked about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. I'm very excited for this one. This is one of the ones for the rest of the year for horror films that I'm excited about. It's in my top 3, I would say, for the rest of the year. And we've got some great stuff coming, I think. But yeah, I'm very excited about this one. I'm the biggest thing I'm excited about in this is actually Marlon Wayans and seeing his performance, because I'm hoping he is terrifying, and but in that way of, I also think he's probably playing the devil. And so, portrayals of Lucifer and the devil and Satan and everything are so different. And I always am curious to see how other people are going to approach it. So that'll be interesting. I'm also very interested in Tyreek Withers, who plays Cameron, who was in the stupid I Know What You Did Last Summer movie. And, he really didn't have much to do in that movie, but I'm curious to see him in this and see what his character goes through. He's kind of a younger actor who I'm not as familiar with, except for like other horror movies. So I'm excited to see what he has to do with this. And I also just think this movie is so fascinating to me, because it's one of those, and I love when this happens, where people are analyzing everything about this movie. Like if you go on TikTok, people are analyzing the poster, like breaking it down, going, oh, that looks like angel wings right there. And that looks like this. And that looks like this and this and this. And it's so fascinating to me because I love when you watch people get like super, super excited about a movie where they're going to lengths where it becomes more than just like, oh, on that date, I may just go to the theater. It becomes an event. And horror is one of the only genres right now. And I saw someone tweet about this today when they were talking about, weapons and sinners. But horror is one of the only genres out there that is constantly, at least lately, trying to surprise us and doing new things and taking, I don't want to say brave steps, but taking sometimes brave steps, but really pushing the limits. And that's what horror is meant to do anyway. But I really appreciate that now because we're always looking for original content. And I think the biggest place you can find it is horror. So I'm really excited about this too. I really, really am excited to see, all the twists and turns and learn everything. I'm not a football person, but I do see how this is definitely about that as well, about also the physical toll that football takes on people and how you're supposed to basically give your whole body away to the game. And then you're not, and then, you might have some severe internal damage afterwards to your body. So I think that's curious too. So yes, I'm excited about it as well. I'm sure it will be mentioned after it's released by somebody, I'm sure.
Probably us.
Well, yeah, no, I meant us. I meant like, oh, us. You mean us too. Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow. Erin, that was, oh my God. Anyway.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned just one more thing, and I'm sorry, and then I'll get off of it. But I'm glad you mentioned the football, the physicality piece of it, because then in my mind, I'm like, this was just another tangent that I ran off on. I'm like, is it all a dream? Is it all a hallucination? Because he's had this major, massive brain injury, and this is how it's manifesting.
Oh, I hope not.
Erin's like, what?
I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I don't. That's one of my least favorite tropes.
I know. I hope not. I hope not.
Don't put that in the universe. It's already been
made
when you're talking about. But oh, Tiff, no.
I know. No, that's not it, people. That's not it. That's not it.
But no, I know what you're saying. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to hear. So yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we come back. We're gonna talk about briefly. We're just gonna talk about one part of the new AI saga, the continuing AI saga. We're gonna talk about another reason that Amazon is awful. So we'll be right back. Okay, so in case you missed this news, this came out a few weeks ago. Amazon's Alexa fund, the fact that it's called the Alexa fund, I don't, invests in Netflix, quote unquote, Netflix of AI startup Fable, which launches Showrunner, a tool for user-directed TV shows. So basically what they're saying, it's a new AI-generated TV show service that basically like people, they've called it the Netflix of AI. So people could put in prompts of like, say you didn't get the outcome you wanted on a character. So you put in prompts of a kind of show you want, starring these people, these characters, and they're doing this and that. And it's supposed to basically kick out whatever the user has said. The AI will give you that experience. And I want to say up front, this is not the same as fanfic. This is not the same as fan art because this is AI generated. Yes, you're putting in a prompt, but that's the least the user is doing. Sorry, the AI is doing all the work. So, Tiff, I am assuming you hate this idea. So your thoughts on this? Oh God, this.
I hate it with the fire of 10 million suns because I will say this. People dedicate their creative lives to making content, maybe that we don't agree with or maybe that we don't want to see, but something that they're passionate about. So, and that goes even for people doing fanfic. They take an idea and they shape it into something that they want to do. They're not getting prompted to, okay, put this word here. They might look up, okay, what's a synonym for this? What's a synonym? What's an antonym for that? That's different. That is completely different than somebody sitting down, taking the time to write something out. The same way it is different for somebody to take the time to study the craft of cinematography, to study the craft of photography, or for directing, or for producing. It is completely different. This was an episode on Black Mirror season 7, which I still have not finished because I'm so over it at this point in time. But I did finish this particular episode. It was episode 3, called Hotel Reverie. It was starring Issa Rae, and it's one of the worst episodes that I have ever seen on Black Mirror. I actually loathe it. It physically gave me, I had a visceral reaction to how much I disliked it. And it wasn't just the fact that she's trying to, Issa is trying to play gay, and she is not very talented at it. You can tell she is very, very uncomfortable being intimate with a woman, and they should have thought about that. Just another thing that, like Erin has said previously, people need chemistry. And that includes people who are ostensibly straight and have to be, in a scene with someone of the same sex. Get it together, casting directors, please. Don't just take the biggest name or somebody who, stumps for the role and stick them in there, because when I say it is more than awkward, it is more than awkward. I digress. That episode is people in the background literally typing in prompts for this movie that she's placed into an AI situation. All of the characters in the background are AI. The person that she's acting across is AI. She is the only live person in this film, and her body is simply an avatar. She's asleep, and they're giving her these prompts in, something embedded, like a contact embedded into her mind. And they're giving her prompts. Oh, go this way. Oh, go that way. You're going to say this to her at this time. You're going to say that to her at this time. Interact with this person here. There is a complete lack of creativity with this. And the fact that this is not art imitating life. This is life imitating art at this point, because Black Mirror most of the time is a cautionary tale on how people should not act. And all this is Chat GPT for television and filmmaking. That's all it is. Point blank, period. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Streaming has ruined TV for us, and this is going to ruin it even more, because everybody and, some Chad in his mother's basement is thinking, oh yeah, I can do this. And it's going to be, who it's going to be utilizing these tools.
Yeah, it's going to be, there are a lot of people that are saying this is going to fail. It's going to flop. And I hope that that's true. I hope it does not succeed. I'm a very pessimistic person, so I don't particularly believe that, sadly. And it's just gross. It's disgusting. It's also, toying with the fact that if you're going to put in a character prompt, and if you want like your characters to end up with each other in a specific way, it's also, frankly, doing something without the actor's consent as well. And I don't like that at all. And I know a lot of actors, this is a big thing that SAG is trying to work on, permission. And a lot of actors say you can't do that. It's like recently, one of the, I think it was one of the Lawrence, but I can't remember who it was. Someone recently said that, it'd be great if there could be some way of hearing Robin Williams now for younger kids to pick up on. Robin Williams, luckily, had a clause, I guess, where that cannot happen. You can't use his likeness after he's dead, which is good because we don't need that. Go watch his past work. That's how you get to hear who Robin Williams was. Because if you hear quote unquote Robin Williams now, that's not Robin Williams because he's not alive, sadly. So that's not hearing him. So that's what the fear is for me with this, is that you are going to really strip away the humanity from art, and strip away empathy, and strip away character, and strip away art from art. And art will no longer be art. And people are already struggling in that industry, and this is just going to make it worse and harder. And I know people are going to start comparing this to fanfic and fan art, and that's just really going to piss me off because fanfics, and I'm not saying there aren't people that probably use AI to write fanfics. That's not writing a fanfic. Fanfics are so amazing and incredible and deserve more respect. And some of the stuff you will read in fanfic is better written than some novels. So that takes a lot. Yes, they are using characters that have already been created, but they are using also their own creativity to put those characters in other situations, other things they're fixing things that they didn't like, all that kind of stuff. So this is just dangerous. And then lastly, and then we will wrap it up for time, but lastly, please remember AI is destroying the environment. It uses so much damn water. So that's another reason we should not be using AI. Okay, well, there's definitely more we can talk about with AI. We will likely next year do a full episode on the dangers of AI because it's just freaking me out even more now. Did we not learn anything from Terminator, everybody? Go watch Terminator 2.
No.
Even though we insulted James Cameron earlier, it's still a great movie.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a fantastic cautionary tale. It's terrifying. So that will do it for this week's episode of Pop Culture and Fandom News. So, Tiff, let everybody know where they can find you.
So I'm around on the interwebs at Who Is Tiff Is Me, mainly on the Discord channel, chatting it up with the other It's a Fandom Thing pod crew. Politics, distractions, complaints. We were just complaining about things earlier about the WNBA and how there's people throwing things that do not need to be thrown out in public. I would say that people onto the courts when when they're playing. So come and check that out if you have the opportunity. It's a lot of fun, but we also talk about funny stuff like Fergie the dog and what she's doing. Our friend, our bestie poop out there. She's the It's a Fandom Thing pod mascot, and we love her. So come on and check us out. It's a lot of fun. We usually talk about something funny every day. So check us out.
It's true. Thank you. And you can find the link for that Discord channel in our show notes or on our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. But you can also, if you're looking for Fergie, you can follow Fergie on TikTok. I just posted a TikTok of her for the first time in a long time. I really liked the TikTok I chose to create. There's this thing called Sniff Spot. So if you have a dog that doesn't do well in dog parks, is reactive. Fergie is very picky with other dogs. And I think she's got a lot of insecurity and intimidation. So if you're looking for a place to take your dog, check out Sniff Spot. And that is a good place to take them if they don't do well in regular dog parks. But you can follow her on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. Remember, you can find all of our social media, all our past episodes, links to our Patreon, where for as little as $3 a month, you get bonus episodes, you get ad-free content, you get episodes a day early, and occasionally you win prizes. You could potentially win prizes during our upcoming horror trivia event in October, and you don't even have to play. So you could know nothing about horror, but still win prizes. The prizes will some of them might be horror themed, just to let you know. But still, you can win prizes. We give away prizes in May during our marathon streaming event as well. And we just have good bonus episodes. I did a first-time watch reaction for the Truman Show. We are going to be releasing an episode full of spoilers for season 4 of The Bear. I'm not sure what else we will be doing. We'll probably do something about weapons just so I can talk about it. We are going to be doing an episode covering Sinners as our regular pod, just to let you know, in October as part of our horror month. Tiff will be there as well as Carla and Kim, and I knew that episode would fill up in 2 seconds, and it did. So that'll be fun. That'll be filled with spoilers, so you can watch Sinners right now. And if it gets re-released in the theaters, please go see it in the theaters. But if you didn't get a chance to see it in the theaters, watch it on HBO Max, because HBO Max is now back to HBO Max. Because they realized how stupid it was. I don't know. Anyway.
Make up your mind.
I know. And by the way, if you were wondering what the other 2 horror movies are that I am most excited about for the rest of the year, and maybe I'm wrong and missing one, which is very likely true, but a couple of the other ones I'm very excited about is Good Boy, which is the movie the whole film is entirely from the perspective of a dog. That's why it took them 300 days to make this movie. Um, it's the director's dog. It's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be really emotional. I'm super excited. Shudder picked it up. It's releasing in October. And then I'm also excited, and I did not think this would happen, but I'm excited for The Black Phone 2. So, yep, those are some other ones I'm excited about. So on our next episode, Tiff will be back, and we are going to be talking about a decidedly explicit topic, although I don't know how explicit we will get, but we will be talking about sex worker portrayals in media. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, and Free Palestine.